Good evening, friends. Sorry, I'm a bit frazzled at the moment. I apologize for the way that I look. I wasn't planning on coming on. As I put the post in the chat there, we're under a tornado watch at the moment. It is about 101, 102 degrees here. It is muggy. It is pouring down rain. It's hailing. Intermittently, it is thundering. There's lightning. The winds keep whipping up, and so it's a bit scary. It's a bit unnerving. So I reached out to Terry Lee, who was supposed to be my guest tonight, and I said, like, I'm really sorry, but I think we should cancel because I don't know if I'm going to have power or not. And she said to me, I was just going to reach out to you because she's very close to a fire and her her power was going in and out. So anyway. So about a half an hour ago, I was going to cancel it. And then it brightened up and then it started again. And that's when I put my message in and now it seems to have died down. So let's keep all things crossed that we can hang out for a little bit because it will help me to be here with you guys. Help to keep me calm. Hi everyone. Thank you for popping in. Oh, thank you, Sherry. I literally just took my hair out of a ponytail. I haven't combed it or anything. So thank you everyone for being here and for hanging out with me. How is everybody doing? And I'm smoking a cigarette. Sorry, friends. It's that kind of a night. And it's hotter than you know what here. No, we don't have tornado sirens. We have our weather network that gives us our updates or whatever. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay? Oh, thank you, Karen. I know. I try not to smoke when I'm on the channel, but it's like I said, it's one of those moments. Even the cats are, I mean, that's Austin there in the chair, but little Charlotte is just having the worst time ever. So, yes, absolutely wrong. Absolutely. How's your weather there, Ron? Are you doing okay? So tonight we were supposed to be talking about signs and messages. And I'm going to put my hair up because I'm hot. Long day at work, but you're home now. You were through that in June, Ron? Yeah, it's just... All right, we'll just put it back. Whew, I'm hot. Well, that's just lovely, isn't it? Okay. Good. I'm glad that you're here. So just a couple of things. I want to say quickly while I'm here and I've got everyone here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you to everyone who participated in the free reading contest that we had last week. I've done 4 out of the 5 readings that we ended up giving away. And they've just been wonderful. So I thank everyone for that. It's been a great experience for me to get to know people in a on a more personal level. And I've just really enjoyed the time that we've spent with each other. So thank you for everyone participating. Tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. we've changed the time, so it's not 7 anymore. It's 6:30 p.m. Cartomancy Mesquite and Ivana Intuitive are going to join me for Who's in the News. So bring your political questions. We'll try to get some of those answered. I've got a bunch already written down. So yeah, let's talk about, hi Patricia, hi Tammy, hi Butterfly Kisses Healing. Thank you for being here, my friends. Teresa, Janet P. Oh, thank you, Janet P. I appreciate you very much. Cartomancy Mesquite's in the house. Sherry H is in the house. Thank you for being here, you guys. Of course, Karen is here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I do appreciate it so very much. Vivian is in the house. Thank you, my friend, for being here. Sharon Sipe was here earlier. Hopefully she comes back as she makes her rounds, keeping all of us safe and sound, because there are trolls about, my friends. I was in a chat earlier today, and they got hit quite a few times. Hi, Michelle, Shining Light. How are you, my friend? So let's talk about some signs. Now, obviously, this would have been a much more interesting and possibly helpful or profound conversation with the help of Terry Lee, psychic medium, in terms of how we interpret the messages. But I'm pretty confident that we can have a conversation. And here is Charlotte saying hi. So let's do that. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Appreciate you, my friend. I literally just took it out of a ponytail. It's a bit of a mess, but I appreciate it. So there's all kinds of messages that we can get, right? And I'm sure that each and every one of us has experienced different types of messages. The first thing that I want to talk about when receiving the messages is, I want to know from you, I'll say what I feel, but I want to know from you guys, if you don't mind sharing, how does it make you feel? How does it make you feel when you smell someone's perfume or smell someone's cologne, or you find a dime, or, a bird flies by, you find a feather, whatever the case may be? How do you feel when that happens, when that is your experience? I would love to know how you feel. I've had years of messages, some very, innocent, and then some like huge ones. And I have to say that I feel quite honored. I mean, that is the feeling overall, that I feel quite honored that, anyone in my family chooses to visit me and let me know that they're thinking about me. So that's my first thing. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm not a little bit freaked out sometimes, because sometimes it is freaky. In terms of, like, I'm not afraid of it, but I'm a little unnerved by it, if you understand what I mean. But overall, it makes me quite happy. I sort of feel like I'm being embraced. I have like a big hug, right? So Tammy says smells too, mostly cigs. Yep. Butterfly Kisses Healing says awesome. Tammy says makes me happy, fills me up. Janet P, always grateful. I just think that for people that don't get messages, for people that maybe are getting messages that aren't aware that they're getting messages, that was where I wanted to start with, because I don't want anyone to be frightened, right? I want people to understand, for anyone who may watch this back on replay, if you get a sign or a message from spirit, your passed over loved ones, your guides, whatever the case may be, it is because they're either trying to share a message with you, or they're just trying to, hey, kind of idea. That's how it makes me feel. It's all right, Sherry. It's all right. We appreciate you being here. Hi, Linda. So Tammy says numbers, animals, songs every day. That's awesome. That's awesome. Marie says my son rubs my head if I'm stressed when I fall asleep. I love that. Tammy says I think I'm getting feelings in my body but can't quite figure them out yet. Okay. Patricia says sometimes it takes me off guard. Yeah. And I can totally see that. It can make you feel kind of like, whoa, hold on a minute. So a couple of weeks ago, I'm not sure who was here and who heard. I have a corner cabinet in my living room, And I've had this corner cabinet for years, and it's, you know, like a floor to, it's probably 7 feet high. It's darn close to that. I'm trying to find a picture in my phone here. Bear with me, of the cabinet so you can see what I'm talking about. There it is, perfect shot of it there. So this is the corner cabinet. So that's my corner cabinet, right? So you can see it's a big size unit, right? And we had purchased that unit just after one of my cousins passed away. And we were sitting at the table discussing my cousin, and that cabinet made a sound like someone was trying to push it literally across the room. It made this horrible, like creaky door, creaky floor kind of, but like with a crack in between it, noise that was elongated for about 45 seconds. Mark and I were both sitting there, so you know it's always nice to have like a witness or a backup, right? um, and we just kind of both looked at each other, and then looked at the cabinet, and then looked at each other again, and went like, "Wow, okay." It was so out of the ordinary, so strange, really. It literally sounded like it was falling apart, and I mean, I don't know what it meant. So anyway, moving on. So that was in our old apartment before we bought our house. Then we bought our house and we moved in just before Christmas. So now it's about January, February, and my aunt and my uncle have come to visit. And my aunt and I are sitting at the dining room table where that cabinet is behind us, and we're talking. And my uncle and Mark are down in the basement. And all of a sudden, as I'm retelling the story to her, because her son is one of the one of the people that passed away, um, as I'm retelling the story, does it not do it again? So loud that she screamed. My uncle came flying up the stairs, and you know, because she has a heart condition, so I thought she was going to have a so that's a message gone wrong. But I mean, and every once in a while, it does it. Never been the same, but it still does it every once in a while. And now, of course, you know, I have a new understanding, so now I just look at it and go, okay, all right. But I tell you, the first couple of times it did it, it literally scared the bejeebers out of me. So to Patricia's point about being caught a little off guard, I'm right there with you. Tammy says, I have a playlist on YouTube of over 500 songs that have come to me over a year's time. That's really interesting. Thank you for the compliments on the cabinet. Appreciate you guys. Michelle Shining Light says, I was sitting on top step upstairs in my apartment and it sounded like someone took their first or their fist and hit right underneath of me. Made you jump. That was just yesterday or a few days ago. Interesting. Hey, Brad. Everybody in the chat. This is my friend, Mr. Brad. Mr. Brad has, I've known Brad, I mean, gosh, Brad, how long have we known each other for? Years. So it's like 2000 and, yeah, I guess like 2000, right? Brad actually came to our wedding. I know his family, he knows my family, and I'm so touched that you're here. That's so wonderful. So, we could do a show just about the good times that we had. We had trailers next to each other. We could tell stories just about that. So the cabinet story is a very significant thing because I think that was the first time that I had something like that happen where there was no denying it, and I totally understood what it was. You know what I mean? Like I knew it was something. Didn't know what it meant, but I knew it was something. Hi, Rhonda. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I do appreciate y'all. I have one other story that I would like to share with you guys. because it is, really close to my heart. So my mother is in the hospital in November, so a few months before she passed, and I went outside to the parking lot to greet my stepfather, who had just come, and he was bringing with him a friend of my mom's to visit. She had been rushed to the hospital for her lung collapsing. And I had come outside, and I was standing leaning up against the door of the vehicle, and he was inside the vehicle. And as he went to get out, I sort of backed up with the door in between us. And there was a penny on the ground. I picked it up, put it in my pocket, went around to the back of the vehicle. When he got out, pulled out a bag that my mom, had asked him to bring some stuff. And I grabbed that bag out of the back of the trunk. And when we went to close the trunk, there was a penny on the ground. I picked it up, put it in my pocket. I went around to the other side, to the passenger side of the vehicle. And my mom's friend was getting out, Betty, and gave Betty a hug. And when she turned around, I noticed that there was a penny just by the wheel of the car. I bent down, I picked up, put it in my pocket, went inside the hospital, and really wasn't thinking anything of it. And my mom said to me, or said to everyone, I want to speak to my daughter alone, which I don't mind telling you, my heart literally skipped a beat because I didn't know what was going on at that point. So I was there with my mom, and it had nothing to do with anything. It wasn't a serious conversation. So anyways, there I am telling my mom now that I found these 3 pennies. And my mom wasn't a superstitious person, but she had little quirks about her when it came to superstitions. And one of them was about pennies, right? Find a penny, pick it up all day long, you'll have good luck. That whole idea. And then there's also the one about make a wish on a penny. So I pulled the pennies out of my pocket and I said, Mommy, look, I found 3 pennies outside by Jim's car. And she said, let me see. And so she held out her hand, and I put the 3 pennies in her hand, and I put my hand over top of hers, and then she put her other hand on top of mine, and together we sort of shook and wished. And that was that. I put the pennies back in my pocket and I walked away, and I never thought another thing about it. That was November the 5th of 2011. March 26th of 2012, my mom dies. I had just left the hospital because people had said I needed to go and eat. And when I, of course, no sooner left the parking lot is when we got the text that my mom had passed. I came back from where we went to get food. I got out of the car. I walked up to the front of the hospital where my sister and my aunts were coming out, and we, greeted each other and hugged and cried and so forth. And then we went back around to where all the cars were parked, and I reached inside to the passenger side of the car where I literally just got out not more than 10 minutes before that to get my cigarettes and my pop. And there was a penny on the floor mat of the passenger side, right there on the floor. I was so shocked that there was a penny there that even right now it makes me emotional, because if ever you needed a message, that was the moment I needed a message. Sorry. And it was kind of like she was telling me it was okay, because I wasn't there, which was my fear that I was going to. One of the reasons why I could never leave the hospital was because I always felt like I was going to, that's when I was going to go home, and then something would happen. And so my point is, there was that penny on the floor mat. Now, I don't know what it meant, but I have always felt that was her letting me know that it was okay, right? That it was okay for me not to be there, which is just beautiful. So in terms of those types of messages that can literally just, wrap their arms around you and embrace you in a way that makes you feel complete, that makes you feel whole, that makes you stop hurting a little bit. the whole purpose why I wanted to have this conversation is because I know every single one of us, or most of us here, are connected and have received messages and probably could help to sort of bridge that understanding that these are wonderful experiences. They're not anything to be afraid of, right? Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you very kindly. Sorry. Hi, Scott. Nice of you to pop in, my friend. Appreciate you. Hi, Jackie. Sherry's back. Hi, Teresa. So I would like it if you guys don't mind, like, share. I mean, I know it's a lot of typing, but if you feel like sharing, share a couple of those kind of, messages that you get. I want to move into like the more common messages that we often get and what they mean, right? There is the whole angel number thing, right? We see different sequences of numbers. And it's hysterical to me. You look it up on the internet, like if it's never happened to you before and all of a sudden you start seeing 333, for example, and you don't know what the heck it means, and you keep looking it up, and every site you look it up on, it tells you something different, which, if you're trying to figure it out, is not helpful. Let's be honest. If you're trying to decode the message, it's not helpful. I have been told, I don't know what you all think, but I've been told that if you're unsure of the message, to try to think of the thing that you were thinking about before you saw or received the message, that they might be trying to tell you that that's a good idea. I think the important part about receiving a message like that if you're unsure of what the message is, like if you feel like you're just getting all these messages out of the blue and you don't know what they mean, ask for clarity. If you think it's from your mom or your dad or your neighbor Bob or whatever the case may be, ask. Say to them, I don't understand the message. Can you please try to make it more clear to me? Help me understand, that type of thing. And I mean, the Spirit's always got your back. They're going to help you, right? Okay, let me go back up here. So Karen says no, she needed you to leave so she could let go. Yeah, no, absolutely, Karen. Absolutely. Sherry H says, I wish I was there so I could share my mom's last message to me. Aw, Sherry. Your mama loved you, sweetheart. You know that. I'm sorry. Karen says, I had a boyfriend die and he has left a pack of Camel cigarette containers on the ground or wherever to get my attention. Tammy says that usually happens. They wait for family to leave. Yes, Tammy did share up in chat. I think it's amazing, Tammy, that you have like collected over 500 different songs just in a year. That's amazing. Thank you, Linda. Appreciate you. Ron says, always happens to me. I see them all the time. And Tammy says, since 2020, we see numbers all day long. Thank you, Vivian. Yes, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up, friends. Appreciate that. And thank you, Vivian, for the reminder. I appreciate that you keep me on the straight and narrow. There was a couple of days, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago, where literally I felt like every time I looked at the clock, it was like a triple digit, right? It was like 11, then it was 222, then it was 333, then it was 444, and I was like, okay, all right. Yeah. And that's the thing, you see. Now that whole part you see about, and I didn't bring that up not to upset anyone, not to trigger anyone. I brought that up to talk about the significance of that kind of a message for us, right? There, yeah, I got you, Brad. I got you. There's only one other time that my mom left me a penny, which I think is really interesting. Now, I do find pennies and I find dimes and other things, but Okay, so in our old house, we had it was a 4-bedroom house, and one of the rooms was like honestly the size of a closet. I don't even know how you could call it a bedroom, but that's not for me to decide. So we decided, hi Geek Hillbilly, how are you, love? Thank you for being here, my friend. We decided to knock the wall out and extend our bedroom. And so we had 2 doorways going into our bedroom. And right outside of one doorway was the linen closet. Now, of course, we had both doors open, and I'm changing the laundry and changing the bedding and putting the linens away. And this is what I'm doing. So I've got the basket on the bed. I've got everything folded up, and I'm walking back and forth, right, to the closet, which is outside the bedroom, and then back into the bedroom. I take the laundry basket off the bed, and I make the sheets, or make the bed. New sheets, new bedding, new pillowcases, the whole bit. I go downstairs, get another load of laundry, carry it upstairs, and there is a penny. So not on my pillow, but on the sheet that you fold, there's a penny like directly under my pillow, right on that sheet. Was my mom trying to tell me, like, good for you for doing the laundry? Like, I don't think so. I believe I know what that message is, and if it's okay with you guys, you know that I share an awful lot of stuff, but that's something that I'm not going to share. But I believe I know why that penny was left for me. But the idea that my mom left it for me, again, in such a significant moment in my life, that it's only the 2 times that's ever happened. So it was very much appreciated. So here's what I want to do. I want you guys to share some of your stories. Yes, a penny for your thoughts, Ron. See, my friend Ron got it. That is when I was really upset, really messed up. My anxiety hadn't been diagnosed yet. My father was dying and refused to speak to us because we didn't tell him that my mother was sick. And I was having panic attacks, and I literally felt like my life was falling apart. And I could not sleep in my bed because, sorry, that's why I didn't want to share this. I couldn't sleep in my bed because I would feel like I was going to die in my bed. Because every time I laid in my bed, I just felt and seen my mom laying there. So it wasn't something that I wanted to do. And I think that's why my mom left the penny, to let me know that she was, with me in that moment. Hi, Anna Banana. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to fall apart. Unexpected. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to talk about some of these lovely messages. I want to talk about them in a way that doesn't upset anybody, but I want you to retell a story that makes you feel amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what the messages are for. The messages are meant to lift us up, to encourage us, to embrace us, to make us feel the love. And that's what I want to talk about. And I don't want you guys just to hear all my stories, unless, of course, that's what you want me to do. I mean, I got all kinds. I know my friend Brad is laughing his butt off right now. He's like, friends, you have no idea. I've heard this girl's stories for years. God knows I got stories, do I not, Brad? So you guys have heard my story about the stereo, where I came out and I looked at the stereo. It's got this like blue neon button that lights up when the stereo goes on, and it says hello, and then it says goodbye, and it also displays the name of the song that's playing on the radio. And I found myself, so I had gone to bed, it turned everything off. It was in the TV cabinet, and And the TV cabinet matched that corner cabinet that I showed y'all that has doors. So the doors were closed, and I turned everything off, and I went to bed, and I'm laying in bed, and all I hear is so the CD player is literally churning. And I'm like, it's brand new. Like, we've only had it a couple of months. So I go out, and I've got the converter, and I'm pressing all the buttons, and I'm like, nothing's happening. It's just like, now, understand, I wasn't even thinking this is a message. I just thought the stereo was a piece of junk, right? All it's doing is going, hello, 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 hello. That's all that's flashing across the screen. And this thing is like pulsing blue, right? And I'm standing there, and I'm pressing all the converters, and or the remotes, and nothing's happening. Stop it, Brad. And so I open up the doors to the cabinet, and I'm like, pressing buttons, nothing's happening. And now I'm literally staring at it going like, what? I don't understand. What are you trying to tell me? So I don't know when I reached that level of understanding that it was like something beyond the stereo not functioning properly, if that makes sense. I don't know when my brain kicked in and went like, this is a message. But there you have it. I kicked in, and I'm like, I don't understand what you're trying to do. Anyways, I think about that moment all the time, because I was literally standing in my nightgown yelling at the stereo, that has to be funny in some way. That has to be funny. But anyhow, I unplugged the stereo because I just wanted to go to sleep, and I really didn't care because I was tired, and it never worked again. So I don't know what that was. Patricia says, when I was diagnosed with cancer, I kept smelling my mother's perfume. I know she was there to comfort me. We are never too old to need our mother. Oh, Patricia, that's so lovely that your mom was there. And you are absolutely right, my friend. We are never too old to need our mother. We are never too old to need our mama. I have had occasion where Marie says, that's okay. All of us have yelled at our TVs in the last 5 years. Yeah, absolutely. Geek says, I kind of fell apart earlier today on Katie Moonchild's live. The isolation and loneliness is getting to me again. Oh, Geek, I'm so sorry. All right, everybody, code word for Geek, please. Code word for Geek. Everybody, code word, not work. Code word for Geek. Hi, Sharon Sight. Thank you for being here. This is for you, Geek. The code word is hugs. Everybody send Geek some extra love and some extra hugs. We don't want anyone falling apart, although we totally understand it. And Geek, you know that this is a safe space. We are here. Hi, Mika. Nice to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here. I hope you can feel that love, Geek. Hi, Gypsy JJ. So, I used to have like candles moving one time, like literally like moving around, right? Like the candle dishes. I had does everyone know what a tea light candle is? You know, the small ones that look like a little, almost like a little cup. And I had that in a crystal holder, like a lead crystal holder. If lead crystal breaks, it doesn't break in half. It smashes into a million pieces. I had a candle, which is just really interesting as I'm telling you guys this story. The corner cabinet and the stereo and the coffee table where this candle sat were all in very close proximity to each other in our apartment. As just a footnote, I literally just thought of that. Anyway, here we go. So the corner cabinet is there. The stereo is over here, and on the coffee table are two of these holders with candles in them. And the candle was on. I blew it out, and the dish cracked in half and went like that. Like the dish cracked in half. A 24% lead crystal candle dish broke in half. Hi, Chrissy. So nice to see you, my friend, all the way from Australia. Woo woo! Shout out to Chrissy Footprint Tarot. Yeah. So the dish broke in half. I've had pictures like turn, which I can't prove that, but I've had pictures turn. My nieces had a dance recital, so to Tammy's point and also to Patricia's point about the smells, we had my nieces went to a dance recital every year, which was around my sister's birthday, and we all went to the dance recital, family support, and it was the second year that my mom wasn't there. And in the time that since my mom had passed, other people had passed too, and one of them was my uncle, who was always there with us while we were watching the dance recital. And my aunts and I were sitting there watching the dance recital, and all of a sudden we just were like, it was like someone was standing above us with the bottle of cologne, just kind of dumping it on us. It was so strong, so strong, but it wasn't like a wafty kind of smell. It was just like boom in your face. It was like, those, what do you call it? Do you guys remember like those powder puffs, like the perfume powder? It had a big poof on it, and you would pat your body with it. It was like having one of those smack you in the head with it. It was so intense. But yes, there we are sitting there watching the dance recital, and then all of a sudden that smell just came through, and it was like, Uncle Bill is with us, which is lovely. I get change all the time, and I don't know about you guys. I'm interested in this from you guys. If you get change, do you move it? So if you get a sign, if you get like a feather or change or something like that, do you move it from its spot? I try to keep it as close to the spot as possible. So like if I have a spot, like say I found a dime back here, I would pick it up and put it in a dish that's in this room. I try to keep it as close to the spot as possible. Hi, Eliza. How you doing? What cologne? He used to wear this cologne called, what's it called? I think it's blue something. Blue, I don't know, blue stratus or something like that. If memory serves. We're doing okay, Liza. I can do a reading for you, sure, if you put a question in there. Absolutely. I've never smelled the cigarettes before. Well, let's be honest, because I smoke, I probably wouldn't recognize it anyways. Mark has felt someone. He has felt his brother. I don't want to tell his story, but he's felt his brother sort of like put his hand on his shoulder. I felt my cat walking up like beside me on the bed, like how they would walk up and sort of like lay down beside you. I've felt that, and of course she wasn't there, but and the numbers for me, you guys know the 111 and the 1111. It's like constant, it's consistent. That's been happening to me for Years. Offered a job, don't know if I should consider it or move on. Absolutely, I can do that for you. Yeah, it could have been Gypsy JJ. I mean, it was. I mean, I don't remember, to be perfectly honest. I know Blue was in it. That's all I know. You've heard purring too, Vivian. That's very cool. Thank you, Jackie, for putting everyone's channel links in there. That's very kind of you. Appreciate that. Yeah, the animal thing. I mean, you know, it stands to reason. They are so close to us, and we are so close to them. It makes total sense to me that that they would make an impact and continue to come back to look after us, right? You can tell if my father's around who were British Sterling clone, almost exclusively mom. Whoops. You can tell when she is at my sister's house. She smells fresh brewed coffee. Terry doesn't have a pot. Wow, okay, that's cool. That's very cool. Yes, close to your pillow, Vivian. I mean, it's amazing when you think about it. It is amazing. Sherry says, I found a feather in the parking lot the other day. Before picking it up, I thanked Spirit for it and asked if I could bring it home. Spirit said yes, and it's sitting on my desk now. Oh, I love that, Sherry. All right, let's toss some cards for Eliza. Eliza, just in case I didn't know, we are talking about signs and messages. And I'll remind you guys remind me to tell you the story about the Blue Jay when I'm finished doing this. And maybe because Brad is here, I'll tell a funny story about the trailer days, about how not to start a fire. Right, Brad? Oh, gosh. All right, Eliza. Should Eliza act on this job? Eliza. What can we tell Eliza about this job? What does bite? Oh, Brad, it's so nice that you haven't lost your sense of humor, my friend. You've got the Nine of Pentacles and the Sun card, Eliza. So I'm not going to pull any more than that. The Sun card is the Yes card in the Tarot. The Nine of Pentacles is reaching a level of contentment, luxury. This is like an abundance, right, of money. And we've got the Knight of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So I say taking that job is a very good idea for you. A very good idea for you. Of course, that's for entertainment purposes only, but those are really good cards. The Sun card is the Yes card in the Tarot. So, Marie says, I stayed at an ex-boyfriend's house in 2011. We sat on his bed one time as he wanted to talk to me. I got up and felt a push in my back. His late wife was jealous. Wow. Wow, Marie. Then 2 nights later, I felt her come in my room. I saw the curtains move. Next day, I told him, you better tell her. Ain't nothing between us. Leave me alone. Wow. I mean, I'm not, like, that's kind of funny, Marie, but it's not funny. I'm sure in the moment it wasn't funny at all. But that's super, super interesting. Eliza, will I be offered something better in the future if I don't take it? Well, here's the thing, and I'm not being smart. Like, so you asked if you should take it. You got the Yes card, so that implies that it would be good for you. I mean, it's up to you to decide. I don't really want to read on whether you're going to be offered something better in the future, because, you know, if you took the job and the job is not the job that you want and a better offer comes along, right? I mean, you have to decide that. I hope that you understand. Timings are weird. I get you. Newer products don't last as long, geek. I have mom's 40-year-old rival Polly Perk coffee pot. I still use it. It makes a good Java juice and it's easy to keep clean. I love that. At 2 a.m. I was drinking shots of Maker's Mark. That scared the crap out of me. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Sherry H says 2 weeks before my mom had the seizure that put her in the hospital and then hospice care, she had a brief moment with me where she looked at me and it was her before the dementia stole her from us. Wow. Wow, Sherry, that's amazing. That's amazing. You know, I wonder to myself sometimes of how many people have second thoughts about a message or a situation that has occurred and, you know, sort of sloughed it off because of beliefs or, you know, thought it was silly or didn't want to, you know, invest emotionally in the experience. And, you know, when we're sitting here and we're sharing all these things and we see, you know, the joy and the comfort that it has brought so many people, it makes it kind of sad for those that don't believe in it, right? I would have said yes without a second thought if it was near. So one job is close. So the job that you've been offered is not like close to you? Is that what you're saying? Like geographically put? Oh, Quincy's saying hi, everybody. Hi, Kristen. How you doing? Christy is back. She brought her groceries in. Sherry H says very clearly, she said to me, I don't want to be like this anymore. Whoops. And then she was gone back to the confused state she had been. Wow. Yep, it's far and timings. Sure, Chrissy, if you want to join. Actually, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a little party. You ready for this, friends? Chrissy and Ron, if you want to come on, I'm going to send you a link. You want me to? I'll send you the link. Let me, actually, I'll just put it in the chat and then I'll get rid of it. Chrissy and Ron, if you guys want to pop on and join me, let's do it. All right. There, I put it right there in the chat for you, Chrissy. Ron, if you want to join me, pop on with me, love. I'd love to have you. All right, the countdown's on. There's the link in the chat, you guys. Well, Sherry, come on. If I invite you, then I gotta invite Anna, then I gotta invite Scott, I gotta invite everybody. I mean, we could listen. You, Sherry, special invite for my birthday. How's that? My birthday party's coming, friends. Less than a month from now. Less than a month from now. And I don't know whether to have it on a Wednesday or on a Friday. Chrissy! How are you?
Hi!
All the way from Australia.
Yes, it is about almost 10 a.m. in the morning here. So, yeah, I came in and I saw you doing a live. I thought I'd pop on and I'd done a like and, of course, thought I'd show my support. And, yeah, how's it going?
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. You going good?
There's, oops.
Sharon Ron. Hubby's going to make me a coffee in a few minutes. He just needs a bit of time to recover.
yeah, and that's okay. Sure, Scott, if you want to pop on, sure, Sherry can too. Anna, I mean, I can have up to 10 people on the stream. We're having a party. Who knew?
Yeah, we're having a party.
Ron.
Hi, Ron. I have not spoken to Ron in ages. How are you, my darling? What is going on? I've got some feedback. Hang on. I'll see if that's gotten rid of it. No? Okay.
There we go. Is that better?
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, y'all. Can you hear me?
Where's that feedback coming from? Does somebody know?
I don't know. I don't think it's me. I don't have anything else on. Someone's got something open.
I had YouTube on and
All I have
Sorry.
the
There we go. It's all settled now.
it's all settled.
So-
can y'all hear me?
We can hear you okay. So
Okay.
Sharon is Sherry.
I'm on my
Sharon.
I'm on my tablet. I've never done it for my tablet.
So everybody, this is Chrissy with the cattail in front of her, all the way from
Chrissy.
Australia.
Western
Up there.
Australia. I'm all the
This
way
is
from
Chrissy.
tomorrow.
All the way
I
from
so
tomorrow.
rarely get to ever catch Chrissy live. I normally have to watch it on replay.
Yeah,
I
Look
love
at the
it.
tail. Look at the tail.
yeah. She's like, yeah. I want
Scott,
some
you
of
can
you.
come on, love. You can come on, Scott. Absolutely.
There
Pop
you
on.
go. I'll put the
Ah.
cat ears on.
I have some cat ears. I have some pushing cat ears, but they're a bit too tight. So I
Uh-oh.
have to find some more
Well, we've
comfy
got-
ones.
I'll be back. I'm going to get some water.
All right, love. So visiting from the future. Absolutely, Marie. So we've got lovely Ron, who is, I'm pointing here at the screen. I don't think you guys can see that, but he's got his Murphy's bed there that he has actually constructed himself, which is gorgeous. Ron has done that. So who knew he was a handyman, but that's lovely. And then we have the wonderful and fantastic Sherry H. Voices from the Swamp. Sitting
How are
here.
the swamp? How are the swamp voices, my dear? Good.
Sitting on the patio.
Sitting on the patio. Awesome. Awesome.
They're on the patio. That's a bit close.
Yeah. Isn't that, I mean, right? Now, we're under tornado watch right now. Believe
Oh,
it or
okay.
not. So, that
You
was
hear
a
it
lot of
claps and
fun.
you're going, and that's fair enough.
Yeah. So actually what I did was I canceled my show with, cause I had a guest coming on. And so I canceled with her. And as I was sending her an email to cancel, she was sending me an email.
Okay.
She is experiencing wildfires close to her and her power was going on and off. So it just seemed like it wasn't supposed to happen. And
Yeah.
it went like really dark, hailing, like the rain was so loud. And we have a steel roof. And literally, I couldn't have heard you all if you wouldn't have been able to hear me. Let's put it that way. If I had to come on and then all of a sudden it just like went away. So I was like, all things crossed. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
here we are. And now we're having a party.
Well, I was out doing shopping and I came in at the 34-minute mark, and so
You get my
Oh.
cards.
Parties.
Oh,
get your card.
Ron's gotten all of his cards. Did you?
Oh,
build
yeah,
that
well,
little
wait,
box
I
in
got
there?
more than that.
I love it.
I got that many
I
tricks on the desk.
Hey, Chrissy, you know what that is? I
You
built
made
that.
that. You built that.
That's
It's
a
gorgeous.
Murphy bed. Murphy
Hey?
bed. A Murphy bed.
It's called a
Murphy
Murphy
bed.
bed.
Oh, Murphy bed. Oh,
Show
cool.
us, Ron. Show us if you can.
Great.
Ron will
Okay,
show you. So you
When
can
we were
watch.
lucky enough.
Yeah.
Mm.
Here we go.
You got legs on both sides.
Yeah.
Pull them down. There you go.
That's awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah,
So
so
it's
that's
a
for me.
bed.
Where,
So like,
where are you going to put James when we visit? He can have,
I
he
can
can have an air mattress
Look.
on the floor. You know, one of those little skinny ones
Look.
that you lie
No
down and they
hands.
just wait and you cannot get off them.
right.
No hands. No hands. Look.
Oh,
When we moved to
And
I debated on getting
that's
either
awesome.
or the day bed, and I went with the day bed instead. So
yeah, you
Saved
have
a
the
lot of
bed.
space.
Do you have the
saved
trundle
over.
underneath it, Sherry?
Yeah.
Like the
Saved a lot
mattress
of
that goes
sorry, yeah, I have
underneath
to
it?
fix under the day bed. I've got like some of those big square type things that I can put stuff in, but because I live in half the living room. We
Right.
have like
But do
living
you
room
have the trundle bed underneath the like the trundle mattress?
bed.
No.
I just
Okay.
got one with just the single bed, and then it's got the space underneath and I can slide like the long flat Tupperware type
Gotcha.
rubber
Like yeah, I gotcha. That's cool.
slide up underneath there so I can put extra stuff up in there.
Look at
And
this.
everything
Look at this. Do you see this, Chrissy?
Yeah,
He
Carlton the
continually
doorman.
says that.
I'm familiar with him, but he's always heard but not seen. Well, that sounds about right. That's you,
Yep.
James.
Yep.
You're Carlton the doorman. Do you like that? He never liked being like Mrs.
Love
Wallowitz.
that. Carlton the doorman. Oh my gosh, you guys, that's
Jeez,
the
I haven't
best
heard
show
that in a
ever.
long time.
I watch
What
all
show
those
was he
old
from?
shows on TV
What show
or
was
on
that?
YouTube.
They had Carlton the doorman.
Rhoda.
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 Oh, I loved Rhoda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking Mary Tyler Moore, and like that's not right.
Hey, Chrissy,
I
you
wanted
know
to be-
Pepe Le Pew? You know her? You know Pepe Le Pew?
Pepe Le
I wanted
Pew.
to be Mary Tyler Moore until I saw Rhoda, and then I wanted to be Rhoda. I wanted
Well,
to be
you know
a
what? I
Mary
used to
Tyler
love
Moore,
that
Rhoda.
show, and then I can't remember when it was, but Oprah did like a reunion show and had like the apartment, like Mary's apartment, all set up, and also the newsroom, and had them all back there. It was amazing. That's on YouTube if you never saw it.
I'm gonna mute for a minute, guys. Just
Yes, of course. So Scott, if you still want to join us, absolutely you can. Feel free. Geek
Sure,
says
the more the merrier.
Oh, there he is, right there. Okay. Yay, Scott's here.
Hey everybody!
How you doing, Scott?
A little late to the party.
You're never late. You're never late. It's an unplanned party. You can't really be late for an unplanned party.
Hi,
Let me come
Scott,
on.
Scorpio Sunto. Hello.
Hi, Fred.
I will be back in a minute. I just remembered I have to make a really important phone call, but I won't be long. Okay.
Okay, love.
So
No
I'll
problem.
be back.
All right, Chrissy. So what Scott doesn't know is that if you look right between myself, my little box, and Chrissy's little box, you can see your shirt matches that sunset. Can you see that?
Doesn't it? It does, especially at the top.
It does.
Yeah. I actually
That's
took
cool.
that picture, by the way, friends. That's like my own
Hi, y'all.
shot.
Beautiful. Where is that at?
That is on what you call Georgian Bay, which is about a 5 to 6 minute drive from my house, that body of water. And it is the largest freshwater body of water in the world.
Really?
And Georgian Bay is attached to Lake Huron.
Oh, okay.
Wow,
Okay.
you're next to the largest freshwater bay, and I'm next 3 miles from the largest land base in the continental U.S. swamp.
It's swamp.
That's Bora
The
Bora,
Atchafalaya.
Bora Bora is
The
asking
Atchafalaya
what
Basin.
show was Carlton the Doorman on. That's Rhoda. Carlton the Doorman was on Rhoda. I love that show. Good night, Linda. Hope you have a great, great, great sleep, my friend.
Right.
And Patricia says she's a Lake Erie gal. I know exactly where that is. My mother lived off of Lake Erie, literally 3 streets away from Lake Erie, and we would walk down there and toss the stick out into the water, and you could walk out for miles, and it was only like just up to your knees, right? Lovely body of water there.
Which lake is it that's right off of Chicago?
Is that Erie?
I think so. I saw it.
Yes.
Good night, y'all. I saw it when I went to Great Lakes, Michigan, when my son graduated from basic training in the Navy.
Maybe it is.
That's where
Michigan. I'm not sure.
Goes to,
Well,
Great
because
Lakes.
Lake Ontario goes like this, Lake Erie goes that way, and Lake Huron is on the other side. I mean, there's 5 Great Lakes, but those are the 3 that are,
Yeah.
or maybe, no, it's probably Lake Michigan. It's Lake Michigan.
That could be. I don't remember my geography that well.
Well, I had to, thank you,
I've
Brad.
lived up
Thank
there,
you,
and I'd
Judy.
never been up there except that one time when I went for his graduation, and that's the only time I've been to that part of the country. So
Well, if you're looking at a map of North America, right? You got Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, and Lake Erie all go into the States, and then Lake Ontario is above that. And
Yeah.
Lake Michigan, I think, is in the middle, and then Hudson's Bay is above that.
Right.
I'm just
I
looking
can
it
see
up
the
right now.
states in my head, but
Scott's looking
I
it up.
couldn't
Scott's
tell you.
doing
Michigan. Kelly, you got it. Sorry, Sherry.
Yeah.
Yes, Kelly. Michigan.
Yeah, I had some help in the chat. I can't lie. Brad,
Oh my goodness.
So Brad is my friend. Everybody is
Hi,
my
Brad.
friend from outside of this community. I've known Brad since, I don't know, 20 some odd years. We've known each other, and we used to have trailers next to each other. Brad and his family and our family were all buddies and friends, and it's very nice that he showed up.
Michelle saying, I left for 20 minutes, come back, and there's a whole party going on.
Yep.
See, that's what happens when you leave. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I can't see the chat. Wait, I can pull it up on my phone,
It's
I guess.
all good. It's all
Her and
good.
her sister
Okay,
on
so-
Saturday with me.
So we were talking about like signs and messages. Ron, do you have like a story about a particular sign or message, or sorry, I'm laughing. Anna Banana says, laughing my ass off. Really glad I'm not in this impromptu geography class. I would fail. It's all good.
I did fail.
I used to love geography. Ron, do you have a story that you want to share about certain messages, or a particular message that you might think would be helpful to the people?
Okay, I'll share the one that just happened to me not long ago. In a tornado, we had tornadoes. I think I told you about that one.
Maybe.
Well, you might not have heard it, but some people might not have heard it. Okay. I lost power.
Geography rocks.
You're so cute.
I had 3 days without power. I was supposed to go live on a Saturday. I lost power because of tornadoes in the area at the end of June. So the first day, no toilet, nothing. So I had, from the kitchen going to other rooms, I have a hallway from 3 to 5 feet wide. As I walked in the hallway, I saw a light. We got no power on both sides of the walls.
Wow.
So when I looked at that, I turned around and asked my wife, "Did you see that?" She actually did see it.
Right.
But what she told me, she was there with her mouth open, like, then she told me what she saw. She saw from my waist up over my shoulders, around my head, a light. That's the same light I saw on both sides because I can't see my back. I was walking towards the front. She saw the same light, but it came from my back all around me.
That's crazy.
I told her after, I said, I asked protection from Archangel Metatron.
Right.
As soon as I said that, I got it. The message right there.
That's amazing. So that was your protective light. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Chrissy, I mean, that's just very cool, Ron.
It also calmed me. I didn't panic or something because no toilet, no water. My dog needs water. I had to go 14 miles to get water for the dog, for me, and eat out, pay high price gas prices, $60 a half a tank of gas. It's crazy at the time, man. But I didn't panic. And another thing happened when the winds and the rain was going like this. The tree, instead of coming towards the house, it fell away from the house.
Wow.
So I was really grateful. You know, that's a strong point.
I guess so. I would be grateful for that protection as well. That's amazing. Chrissy, do you have a story about any particular signs or a favorite message that you've received? From spirit, feathers down.
I had a odd experience in the unit we used to own in Osborne Park, and what it was is it was a nice day, and we had this. I'll just do geography rocks. I'm going to do a little map.
Okay. For those
She's a
of you that don't know who Chrissy is Footprint Tarot, and she does these nights where she does like the haunted kind of trail kind of thing. I have never seen anybody put so much effort into doing that type of a program. Chrissy gets all the places lined up. She has a bunch of screens going at the same time. She literally takes you on the map and shows you the place, and she moves you all around the street. It's really, really super fun when she does it. I love it.
Yeah, I was in the our unit kitchen, and we got the lounge room here, this big bit, and then
hold on one sec. I'm going to try to move you to the big spot here, if I can.
Click on her and drag her in. There you go.
There you go.
Okay, so we got this little hallway here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And our bedroom, the spare bedroom, and out the back is the courtyard. And I was just standing here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And out in the hallway, I thought I saw a short person with dark hair darting into the bathroom or the front room.
Right.
And it was a little bit shorter, but a little bit too short, but I thought it was James. And I said, "Oh, James, you're going to the loo or something?" And he could hear me, and his voice comes, no, I'm out in the courtyard, which is out here. Now, I learned a few days later that a family member who fits that physical description, short with dark hair, had passed away on or around the same day. I'm not quite sure whether it was the same day, and I'm pretty sure it was him coming to say goodbye. I got on very well with him, always had a great deal of respect for him and love for him. And it was quite sad because we found out that he had ended up dying alone in his unit, and he wasn't found for a couple of days. So, but I was convinced, thinking, and I thought, because I thought it was a bit short and exactly matched the build and the really, really dark hair of this relative. I won't say who it was, but I'm pretty sure it was him. Just darting in, sort of in and out, and because I was really, really puzzled, and then I learned a few days later that he had actually passed. Wow. So that was my most recent spooky one. James has a story, but he will deny it. He will deny it, but it's from these cabins in this town called Pemberton.
Right.
And we were staying in one of the cabins, and these cabins had been taken from all around that region of Western Australia, from mining camps and timber camps and things like that, and relocated into one area so people could hire them to stay in. We were staying in one, and he went, and it was a really cold night, and we set up a mattress in front of the fire. It was so freaking cold. It took us ages to get the fire going, Two highly educated people, and we can't even light a fire properly. It took us 2 hours.
You're not the only one who can't light a fire, is she, Brad? Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I learned after that. But he went, and the toilets were out. You had to go out to the veranda at the kitchen door, and out on the veranda, and then there was a door to the bathroom.
Right.
So James, he went out to the toilet, and he came back, and he crawled back into bed, and he snuggled up to me, and I said, "Oh, I've got to get up and go to the loo." He went, "No, I'm not letting you. It's not safe." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Uh-oh.
I was only a couple of hours. I could hold on. So I got up, and mind you, I had been out on the veranda earlier, and there were a couple of wispy things around, but it was a cold night. I mean, we went out the next day, and there was frost this thick all over our car, so it was very cold. But anyway, I got up. We got up a couple of hours later, and I said, "Why wouldn't you let me go to the loo?" And he said he went there, and he went to the toilet, and there's a chair in the corner, and the sink and the loo, and the usual setup. Anyway, he went in the loo and he washed his hand. When he turned around, there was a guy sitting in the chair in timber person's, the flannel and all that typical lumberjack type clothing, I guess, with a gash in his head and blood streaming down his face, and he was just snarling at him.
Oh my God.
But he would deny it ever happened now. But he would not let me go outside. He said it's too dangerous.
Well, I mean, that's wonderful that he was trying to protect you. I think that's great.
When we first moved over here, we were in a top floor apartment, like on the 5th floor or something, right on the corner, and we had our bedroom. There was a window above the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that wasn't the one. No, it was a different one. No, I was fast asleep, and suddenly his whole body hit me from the side and almost pushed me right off the bed. I managed to stop myself falling off the bed. He was having a dream that a bus was going to run me over, so he was pushing me out of the way of the bus, and he literally pushed me out of the way of the bus.
Oh, wow.
Very protective, my hubby.
That's funny. That's funny. That's
But
funny.
he had another dream. He was running and with the window thing, and he actually leapt up onto his feet and started running, and I'm like, whoa, and he froze and looked down, and then he was still asleep, because he would have gone right into that window. He probably wouldn't have gone through it, but
Wow.
he could.
That's hysterical. Well, I mean, it's funny now, probably not funny in the moment. Scott, you said you had a message about your mom that you wanted to share. Let me put you over here into the hot spot, if I can do it right.
Sure.
It takes me a minute because I'm technically challenged over here. I'm moving you over, but it's not working.
There I am.
Here we are. Yay.
Yeah.
I thought,
Everybody,
Hi,
this is
nice-
Scorpio
Yeah,
Moon,
nice to
or
meet you,
Scott.
Chrissy.
Scott, sir, I almost said moon. Scott,
It's
Scorpio
sun these
sun.
days, yeah.
Get with the program, Kelly. Sorry.
So I don't know if this would count.
Okay, hold on. I
Yeah,
have
sure.
to say, this is your first time on dzncats.
It is, yay.
Welcome.
Yes, I hope not my last. So, yeah.
So, because you are here as a first-time guest, but because you're with the other party goers, you get to forego the normal questions that you get asked when you're a first-time visitor. But I'll get you next time.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
You get the third degree.
What's that? What did Ron
Yeah,
say?
we've all been through the ringer.
Yeah,
You
they've been
get the
through the ringer.
third
Oh,
degree.
Yeah, I've been
The third
thrown,
degree, yep.
yeah, I've been with Ron, so I've been with the through the ringer too. So I've been on his channel. So yeah, I don't know if this would count exactly as a spirit message like after passing, but my mom was back in January, actually the end of December, she was given about 1 to 2 days to live, and it was about January 4th. She had made it all the way that way. She was in the nursing home. She had Alzheimer's, so that's what took her. But she slipped into a coma the night before this all happened. And the only thing that she could do is, they told us that she was pushing down her covers. She'd do like this, and then she wouldn't open her eyes, nothing else, just pushed down her covers. And we asked, one of the caretakers why she was doing that, and they said, well, there's nothing in her system whatsoever. Everything has shut down except for the medicine, and the medicine is keeping her comfortable, makes her warm. Right. I was like, okay. So I knew there was, she was gone pretty much. They did tell us that the last thing to go is their hearing. And that morning, I just had I don't know, something told me that I needed to talk to one of my friends, Ginger. She did a live with me not long ago. She's got a brand new channel. She's wonderful. But I called her and I said, Ginger, I don't know why, but I think I need to call you. She said, I have been thinking about you all day long, and I have connected with your mother. She said, your mother needs you to talk to her. And I said, well, I can't, Ginger. I've got my two sisters, they're Baptist Christians. They're sitting there bedside with her. We don't know how much longer she's got. And she said, you need to find a way to get your sisters out of the room or to get there with her. And she said, I want you to ask her anything that you need to know about. And there was something very, very important to me that I had not been told that I needed to know from her. Right. And also, she said to ask Mom. She said, if you want to do it telepathically, do it telepathically. I had never done anything telepathically before. So that scared me a little bit. She's like, all you have to do, just put your head down. If your sisters ask you what you're doing, tell them you're praying. And so I was like, okay, I'll see what I can do. But she told me to ask my mom if she could see butterflies. And that those butterflies were us three children that she was not letting go of yet, that she needs to, because there's three other butterflies that are her guardian angels. And one was my grandmother and her. They were so close. They were close like me and her, best friends. And then the other two are her grandparents, who she just loved dearly. And I knew exactly who they were when Ginger was describing them. So I went into the room and sisters, one on each side, right there. And I came in and I just sat, at the end of the bed, couldn't reach her hands, couldn't reach anything. The other thing Ginger told me, she said, are you left or right-handed? I said, I'm right-handed. She said, is your mom left or right-handed? She said, she's left-handed. She said, grab your mom's hand with your right hand with her left, because her left is her receptive. Right. And I had a rose quartz ready to go for unconditional love. And I wanted to share that with her. Anyway, just out of the blue, my sister, who was on her left side, stood up and she goes, hon, why don't you sit up here for a couple minutes? I need to text Ashley, my daughter. And she got up and left. So I was like, yes. So I grabbed her left hand. My other sister still had her right. And I just, started talking, but nothing coming out, right? Just words, telepathically. Right. And the first thing I said to her is, I said, Mom, I'm so sorry to ask you this, but I need to know, a very important question, because you've never told me that it's okay for me, because we were very, very close. I took care of her here in this apartment for 5 years as her caretaker. So we were very, very close, best friend in the world I've ever had. And I told her, Mom, you've never told me that it's okay for me to go on after you leave. And I said, I need to know that. And I said, I don't know how. And I said, I don't want to be selfish, but Mom, I don't know. I can't go on without knowing about this. And I said, if you could give me just an indication, a clue. I said, Mom, the only way that I can go on is if I know that you're going to be my guardian angel. And I don't even know if that's possible. And I had held of her hand and I said, if you could just give me one little sign, maybe just squeeze my hand just a little bit to let me know that you want to be my guardian angel and it's okay that I go on. Boom, my hand goes flying up in the air like this. My mom had pushed my hand so far up that I thought something was wrong with my shoulder. My sister turned around and looked at me and she goes, what was that? I said, I don't know. And I just bowed down and started talking to her again. And I said, Mom, do you see 3 butterflies? Raising that hand again, just as high as she can. And I said, Mom, and I told her. And she went the next night, either the next night or the night right after. And I did tell her also that it was okay, if, because we were taking turns. My sister were there during the day. I was there at night. And I told her it was okay if she went, with the girls, because I thought they needed that more than I did, because I had individual time and they did not. And she went 10 minutes before I came in that Wednesday evening, which was about 2 nights later, I believe. So yeah, I don't know if that counts as an after, life thing, but it was.
Listen, in terms of your mother's condition and not being able to communicate with you, I would say that was a definite message.
Yeah, I mean, she was supposed to be brain dead, basically. I mean, the Alzheimer's had taken away everything, but she did still know who we were before she went into the coma, which is a miracle for someone with Alzheimer's.
Absolutely. That's lovely. That's an amazing story, Scott. And, on a personal level, from, I like to consider us friends, from a friend to a friend. Like
Right.
I'm grateful that you had that experience with your mom. That sounds like it was everything that you could have hoped it was, for someone to have that kind of a communication or a message from their parent. You know what I mean? It just sounds like it was a beautiful thing for you, and I'm sure that it has made an amazing difference in your life, like having that moment with her, right?
Yeah,
Having that
yeah,
experience.
absolutely. And it helps me too, Kelly, that you are so open to talk about things like that. And a lot of people, they don't want to talk about it, and
Yeah.
that's when you feel shut off from those people, because it's like, hey, like Ron, he's able to talk about things like that. And I'm sure if anybody else has lost their parents, you guys are open about it, and that helped me get through the first couple months. So I'm right at 6 months of losing her. So it's still pretty fresh, still pretty raw. But I see Kelly, after 10 years, breaking down and still crying. And I'm like, I'm okay. I'm okay that I'm still crying every day. I'm okay that I'm still breaking down, because this is something
100%.
that I'm going to have to live with for the rest of my life. And you learn to live with it. You don't get rid of it, but you learn to live and to go on and to share, her story with other people, which is what I want to do.
Yeah. Someone
Yeah.
said in the chat tonight that the loss of your parent is profound, but the bond that you have with your mom is a bond that's different from any
It
other
is.
person, right? Like a mom and a child, or
Yeah.
if it's a mom who's mourning the loss of their child, or a child mourning the loss of their mom, that connection, was started, before you were even like introduced to anybody. So that bond is really profound and really deep.
Yeah.
Sherry, do you have a message that you wanna share, love? I can see you're nodding your head and in
For
agreement.
me,
I know that your story is similar to what Scott's been through with looking after his
Similar.
mom.
I mean,
All right, let me
my
pull
mom
you
had
over.
severe dementia.
Let me pull you over. Let me pull you over here,
Okay.
if I can do it. If I can do
Okay.
it.
Same
Do your
Sherry.
magic. Do your magic
There
trick.
you go. Yay! I just want to say before you
Um,
get started, Sherry, that Michelle said, Scott, wow, what a powerful, amazing experience. I'm glad you were able to get that confirmation from her. I know it'll be a memory that you'll carry with you for the rest of your life.
Thanks, Michelle.
Sorry, go ahead, Sherry.
that's it. I was just, I mean, so much of what Scott was saying, I can relate to, because my mom had severe dementia. And we discovered about 2 years before she died that she had acute cerebral atrophy. Her brain was literally shriveling up in her head. And you tease her because she let her memory. She'd be in the middle of saying something and then it would just be gone, And so it was like holes in the memory here, there, and everywhere. And as the years progressed, I mean, we wound up all living together, me, my son, my brother, and his son, because we all tag team taking care of her. And it was difficult. The last year was the hardest, because that's when she didn't know who any of us were anymore. We were all straight. She would look at you, like she would look me in the face and say, I want to talk to Sherry. Go find Sherry. And at first I would try to argue with her and tell her I'm Sherry. She didn't want to hear that. So I would go, okay, I'll go get her. And I'd walk out of the room and I'd come back in and I was Sherry. And she was cool with that. So it was just little things like that that we had to do. And um, towards the end, about 2 weeks before she had a really bad seizure, like I was saying in chat, she had one of those weepy days where she just kept crying and she didn't know why. And I didn't know why. And it tears you up, because you're watching your mom cry and cry and cry, and you can't make her feel better. And
Yep.
so I finally got her to lay down on the
Hard.
couch and take a little nap. I kept saying, Mama, if you just lay down, close your eyes for a few minutes, you'll feel better. When she lay down, she slept for about 30 minutes. And then she started stirring, and I was sitting like right next to the couch. on the computer, and she sat up, and I turned around, and she looked up at me, and I could see it in her eyes. It was her before the
Right.
Yeah.
dementia, and it
Same.
just
Yeah.
she was looking at me, and she just said, "I don't want to be like this anymore." And then she was right back, gone again, you know. But it was that split second of maybe 30 seconds for her to make that statement. And it's been several years now, but it still chokes me up when I think about it. Just the look on her face when she looked at me, it was like the second she looked at me, I knew that that was my mom looking at me, not
How
a
how long
stranger.
after how long after that, Sherry, did your
She had
mom
the
pass?
seizure roughly. She had the seizure roughly about 2 weeks later. She had a massive seizure. Um, we had to call an ambulance to come and get her, and
Right.
they put her in the hospital. She was in the hospital for like a week, and the doctors told us that she can't go home. She has to go into hospice care. She requires 24/7 care now. And so they put her in a lockdown unit. Um, Not even in our city. The closest nursing home was in the next town over. So it
Right.
was difficult to go and visit her, you know. Um, but the nurses would give us running daily updates, you know, on her and everything. But she pretty much after that seizure, she lost the ability to speak at that point.
Right.
She could, yeah, and that was about it. And then she couldn't get around anymore. She was stuck in a wheelchair then. And so, you know, in my mind, I kind of knew it wasn't going to be much longer, um,
I sort of
because
feel
I
like,
remembered what she had said to me.
yeah, it
And
sort of feels to
it was
me like
about
your
2 months
mom,
after that she
yeah,
passed away.
feels like your
Yeah.
mom was trying to uh like prepare you,
Yeah,
or to let you know that like
definitely.
she was done. Um,
Yeah.
I
Well,
want to ask Ron
and
about this.
part of the
Um,
message that I got was um, was was just her reassurance that even though she'd been gone for a couple of years, she was still in there. Because I would
absolutely.
always have the, you know, are they still in there in their
Yep.
brain somewhere? Are somewhere
Absolutely.
part of them still aware of what's
Yeah.
going on?
Yep.
And that was just confirmation to me that yeah, she was still in there. She just couldn't get out, you know.
Absolutely.
And but and it's been that was what the she passed away on Father's Day, 2019. And then we went into lockdown several months later, beginning of
Right.
2020. And I was not doing well. And then I stumbled upon this community just surfing on YouTube,
As
looking
so many
for
of
something
us
to do.
have, right?
Yeah.
As so many
And
of
it
us
was
have.
a lifesaver. It was a lifesaver for me.
Beautiful. Yeah, no,
And
100%. That's what I'm saying. Like, as so many people have said, in for whatever the reason is that you stumbled upon it, the difference that this community has made to so many people for so many different reasons is just phenomenal. Ron, I want to ask you. Thank you for sharing your story with us, Sherry. Ron, I'm going to pull you over into the hot seat for a second, if I can. Do it. Yay! I did it. I'm getting good at this.
yay.
We just need people to come on so I can like keep playing
I
musical
just want to
tarot.
mention something. I had a
Yes.
channel. I met all three of you before you started your channel. I met Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Then I met Sherry H. And then
Yep.
I met Scott also. So, all three of you.
Yes, sir. You have done that for all of us.
Yeah. Well,
Ron, I want to ask you something. So, Scott shared his message, that profound conversation that he had with his mom telepathically Sherry shared the message that, her mom sort of came to in that moment and showed her, who she used to be. Um,
I
I
have a
had a
story
moment,
about
I
that
had
too.
a moment similar, so I want to know if you had a moment similar to that, like that when your mom showed you or told you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got a message from my mom. My mom, she had cancer of the lungs, so she was had this oxygen in the hospital. They put a mask and you breathe through the oxygen. She needed that because her lung, one of her lungs, was failing. Anyway, so I was there for almost a week with her because I had to clean her. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Oxygen, you get all white around the
Yes.
lips, and I had to wipe
Yeah.
the thing. I had to do that to help her, and I'm the only son. Nobody can take take my place. I don't have sisters. I have brothers. Nothing. And the last day, uh, they had her on morphine, but I could see her the night before. She was staring at the wall up above and pointing like this, And actually, what she was doing, she was pointing to somebody she saw that she knew
Wow.
from the other side.
Mm.
Now, at the time, I've changed a lot from that time on because this happened in year 2000. I was holding her hand. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning, sitting on a chair. They did, today maybe if you want to rest, they give you a sort of like maybe a chair you can lay down or something.
Right.
I was sitting there all that time, all that night, and I was holding her hand, and the, I heard she took her last breath. But while she was taking her last breath, she sent me a message to my hand. Not a message like she wasn't talking to me. It was telepathic. I felt joy. I felt excitement, and oh, like this excitement. It's like, like she was getting ready. She just arrived at a party honored. Then I knew that she saw somebody or people that she lost loved ones before. I knew that, but I couldn't talk about it because there was other people around me at the time, and I couldn't tell them what I felt or the message I got from her because they would think I would be nuts because my mother
That's
just died.
interesting.
And
Yeah.
I felt excitement, joy, and happiness. I didn't feel sad.
Yeah.
It's my mother, sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. That
But you had your reasons to feel that way, Ron. You had your reasons to feel that way. And that's something, not to not to take away from it, but that's something that also requires a great conversation about, because it is important to recognize and to, say it out loud that not everyone has this fantastic bond with their parents or their mom. And uh, I mean, from a personal perspective, I can only imagine if the passing of my mom and the potential passing of my father messed me up as much as it did. I can only imagine what it would do to someone who would live with regret because maybe they didn't have the occasion to have a conversation with a parent that maybe they didn't get along with. Do you know what I mean? I can only imagine what that would be like. Um,
But yeah, there was stuff that going on with my mother that happened before, because
right,
both my parents were alcoholic. My mother was alcoholic too, but
right,
she made an effort to quit. And when she did quit, I got closer to her.
right.
The stuff she kept a lot of secrets. I learned my real father's. I always suspected that my the one I thought was my father wasn't my father. it took 50 years before I pulled her out, and it happened at the hospital where she had the last week of her life. That's when I
Wow.
learned the whole thing. But I knew it before. I was sure of it. I had to tell her that, and she said she didn't say you're wrong. She said she told me the name of my real father. Uh,
Wow.
I knew it all along. My intuition was so strong. I knew it. I knew it. But
Right.
but there's another thing also. I believe that I got to know my mother during that during how would I say a little bit like when she quit drinking, I got closer and closer, and I got to understand a little bit about her own life,
Right.
and it started giving me the capacity to be able to forgive, not
Well,
to
to put it
resent,
into the
to let
right.
go of all that crap, so that it actually helped me free myself, free me and my mother. What I you know what happened when she left and gave me a message. It's like she was giving me the freedom to be
That's
who
right.
I was,
Exactly.
who I am really,
Yes.
and now you know
100%.
because I took on my mother's personality. I took on my everybody's personality, but I didn't know the hell who I was though, because I didn't have any confidence in myself. I
Well,
knew
you didn't have
who I
any
was.
guidance. It
I
doesn't
searched
sound
all
like
my
you had a
life to
lot
be
of
who I am.
role model. Right.
You know what I mean? Search all my life
Yeah.
to be who I am, and who I
Yeah.
am is now. After
Yes.
all these years,
Yes.
finally got there. You know, it's great.
You
It's because of
absolutely
all
did,
the
my friend.
experiences that I've been through. So what I'm doing right now, I have a channel, and all I want to do is help people heal from whatever. Because I understand stuff maybe they don't understand. You know, I
You're
had a near
amazing
death
at it too,
experience
Ron. You're amazing
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
because I had a
I'm
near
gonna.
death experience,
Yeah.
and that near death experience wasn't for nothing.
No,
You see what I mean?
absolutely.
It's useful.
Absolutely.
I was also healed from epilepsy. I never felt another attack of epilepsy after that.
Yep.
That's a lot of stuff.
It
I'm
is.
able to recognize that. And I
Yep.
told my mother about the near death experience. Almost like maybe 45, 50 years. She was sitting in my house here, and I was telling her that, and she goes, "Shit, yeah, I knew when I was on the side. I see what you were doing. You were
Right.
panicking and stuff like that." I told her everything. She's just go surprised her. So anyway, but
You know,
if I
I mean, I don't know how this happened tonight, but there's a reason why why y'all came into the chat and why I showed up and why we're all talking about this because somebody out there needs to know this. If nothing else, it's a good healing exercise for all five of us, right?
Kelly, would you mind if I spoke for two people in the chat because I was looking in chat and I think it's important to just recognize that that's
Yeah,
okay.
no, absolutely. I was just gonna say there's been so many people sharing
There's
so many
so
things.
many,
That's
right?
so many
And
people. I'm going back up. So
right,
Marie, sorry, let me see where I am. So my friend Michelle. Okay, so first of all, we have Anna Banana saying to you, Scott, that is beautiful. It shows that spirit is always aware, even when the body shuts down.
yeah,
Tammy
yeah,
said,
true.
and all around them were glowing golden figures. That she thought that it was a healing, like I said, but come to find out that it was his team waiting for him to cross. So she was sharing a story about someone that was crossing. Michelle Shining Light said, Scott, wow, what a powerful, amazing experience. I'm glad you were able to get that confirmation from your mom. I know it will be a memory that you will carry with you for the rest of your life. My friend Brad said, I can relate in many ways, as you know, Kelly. I mean, he has suffered tremendous loss in his life as well. Bora Bora says, thank you for sharing, Scott. That was beautiful. Um, Jackie's sending hugs. Marie Henson says, I know I have some years to get mentally ready for my parents. I've already started trying to, being the youngest and a girl. And then Michelle Shining Light was saying to Sherry, hugs to you. Thank you for opening up and sharing with us. Geek Hillbilly says, I kind of stumbled into the circle of friends, no pun intended for the circle of friends. Shout out for the collaborative channel. Jackie says, I lost my husband to dementia after a second stroke. I think it's the worst thing people can go through, the person and their families. This community and a great friend has helped me so much with healing. Sherry put in there, I agree, Jackie, in many ways. I lost my mom twice. Hi to 2535 Apple, who popped in. Michelle went to look after her kids. Patricia said, when my father was passing, he kept looking at a chair in the corner of his hospital room, and he kept repeating, I'll be there soon, Jackie. He was speaking to her mother, which is just, I mean, it you know, if you can take yourself out of the situation and just look at that for the beauty in that moment, how amazing is that? And then to be able to like remember that and know it and feel it and see it, right? I wanna throw myself into the hot seat for just a second if I could figure out how the heck to do that. How do I get myself over there, Ron? One of these days, I'll figure it out.
There you go.
Yay! So, two really quick stories. So you've all heard the story about my mom and me massaging her feet. Everyone's heard that story. That is my window to who my mom used to be. So to Scott's message and to Sherry's story that you both shared, I had that short, really brief moment with my mom. Real quick, I'll tell it to you guys. So my mom's laying in the hospital. She's in her private room, getting ready to die. I'm supposed to leave the hospital. I can't leave the hospital because every time I leave, I freak out and I end up sleeping in my car because I'm afraid I'm going to go home and she's going to die. And so I said I was leaving. I'd been there for 5 days or 4 days, and I did not leave. I went to the store, and then I came back, and I went into the hospital gift shop where I bought this. This beautiful little sign that's worth a whole $5.95 at the time. And I went back upstairs to the hospital room, and my mom was asleep. And so I asked the nurses for a pen and a piece of paper, and I wrote my mom a little note. And I had one of those like nylon jackets on that's like super noisy. And I tried to like, you know, tiptoe in the room and leave it for my mom. Well, of course I woke her up. Well, the next thing I know, we're having a party, just like now. You know, my mom's wide awake. She's up in the bed. And, you know, she was like all of 90 pounds soaking wet at this point. She was on oxygen the whole time. But she was just vibrant and like, yeah, let's do this. It's Saturday night, or well, I don't even know what night it was. I think it was Saturday night. And she's like, yeah, you know what? I feel like that piece of carrot cake that you brought me earlier from the gift shop, and you put the kettle on, and if you could just rub my feet, that would be great. And I'm like, Mom, I hate feet. But you're my mom, so I guess I'll do it. So there I am, massaging my mom's feet. Mark is in the big lazy boy recliner chair that they have in all the private rooms. And as she's sitting there drinking her tea and eating her carrot cake, and I'm massaging her feet, being totally grossed out by the experience, because I mean, my husband, it took him 4 years before he even seen my feet. I really don't like feet. And my mom looked at Mark and said, like, stop looking at my daughter's butt. That's rude. And we all kept laughing because that's my mom's sense of humor, right? We all just, because it was so quick. And, you know, maybe 4 or 5 minutes later, the nurse came in and said that they had to move her out of that room because someone needed it because they were going to pass. And my mom never really spoke again after that moment. So in that moment, it was awful. I'd never seen my mom scared like that. But that moment is something that I think about, and it just makes me really happy because I got to see her for that little bit of a flash, you know, for that 2 or 3 or 4 minutes where she was herself, which was, you know, in hindsight, exactly what I needed. In the moment, not so much. Each of us sharing those little stories with people are great reminders that, you know, a sickness or a disease or an illness may take over their physical body, but their spirit, as we like to say here, their spirit is all around them, all around us. And it speaks to the power of spirit, right? It speaks to the power of that connection that we have with those people. So if we learned nothing here tonight other than just sharing really cool stories, take that away, that the power of spirit is powerful, right? That's why we all say we're never alone. Spirit's always got your back. Spirit is always there, looking after you, looking out for you, watching over you. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I just feel like that's beautiful. It brings me so much peace to think that my mom is all around me, or my dad, or my grandparents, or whatever the case may be. Um, and the other night, speaking of that very thing, um, Gypsy JJ wrote in the chat, Kelly, you have an entity or an angel or something outside in your backyard. That was apparently behind me for most of the last time I was on live. Um, and I was like, what, me? I have someone behind me? What are you talking about? And interestingly enough, I didn't freak out. I thought it was an amazing thing. So I like welcome it. If you see anything behind me, do let me know though. It was just an amazing experience, and I think it's wonderful that we're sharing this. Tammy says we were having Easter dinner at my aunt's house, who my grandmother was staying with in her final days. Bora Bora says my mom's health is declining rapidly. My sister is her caregiver and won't respond to my many attempts to visit with her. See, now that's tough. That's
Just
tough.
go.
Yeah.
Just go. I would, my experience with my dad
I'm gonna
is
move you over here, Chrissy. Hold on a sec.
yeah.
If I can do it. I don't know why. It takes me like 3 attempts.
No, it's all right.
Here you
Now,
are.
my experience when my dad passed is I live on the other side of the country. I wasn't there.
Right.
I still get gutted to this day that I didn't get a chance to see him in these last few months. I was talking to my sister that morning, and she's saying, "Look, Dad is going downhill. He probably only got a few months. The doctor said before he had a few months." And I spoke to James and said, "Okay, we'll sort out. You go for a trip to see him." And 8 hours later, I got a call back from my sister saying that he passed. It is wonderful when you can have the chance to be there, but sometimes people like me, that opportunity isn't there. And
Right.
it's gutting. It is gutting. It's still gutting 14 years later,
Yeah.
But I just want to say to those people who haven't been able to be there, haven't been able to, for whatever reason, whether it's a family issue and they don't want you there, or please don't be so hard on yourself if you couldn't be there. Just if you know they're ill and all that, just send them energy and love, and they'll know. They'll know.
Yeah.
It was shattering. I've got tears in my eyes now, and like I said, it was 14 years ago. I disappeared before because I had to go get a hug from hubby.
Aw, Chrissy.
Everyone's choice. But trust me, they will find a way to let you know that they're still around, that they still love you, and that actually no one was with Dad when he passed. Mum was there up until half an hour before, and the doctors persuaded her to go home and freshen up, have a shower, and he died after. I think he didn't want anyone there with him.
Yeah.
He waited.
Yeah.
But it is shattering. But if you're beating yourself up because you couldn't be there, they don't. It's not something that person would want you to do. And it is, and there are ways in which you know they're there. Sometimes I feel like I'll ask Dad just for a little hug and I'll immediately start to feel better.
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel a hug, but I feel the effects of having gotten a hug and things like that. So I know he's still around. A few days after he passed, he had heaps and heaps. I think I've told this stories before. He had heaps of computers around the place, DVD players, all this. He had electronics all over the place. And a few days after he passed, they all started to go on the fritz. And we were like, that's him, just, you know, putting all these things on the fritz so Mum can feel good about throwing them out, about getting rid of his stuff, you know. Because he had all his stuff all over the place. And we were joking that was him, you know.
Right. It is amazing when you think about it, like what you're talking about, Chrissy. That that feeling of like I mentioned, like I was there at the hospital for like 20 hours straight, and then of course I leave for 10 minutes, and boom, that's when it happens. Or when you can't get to a particular location because the pandemic was going on. I mean, we had the most, I'm sure that they had it in Australia as well as in the States, but we had all these awful pictures on the news and in the newspapers of people going to the hospital and the nursing homes and just being able to touch their hand on the window. I mean, it was just heart-wrenching, right? All of the people had,
but trust me, and it's, they know that you want to be there. They know that you love them, and they know that you care. And don't feel they blame you, because they don't.
They don't. You know what I think? I think that honestly they're trying to spare you I mean, it's like because we're looking at them and their physical body, and it's like they're already outside of their physical body and trying to protect us and embrace us. It's almost like they know better than we do what we need in that moment. You know what I mean? To keep us from.
I honestly think Dad did not want Mum to see him pass.
Right.
Mum was devastated that she wasn't there with him. But I don't know. I don't think he wanted her to be with him. He was a very strong, he was 6'1", powerfully built, very strong man for so long, with a wonderful smile and a big personality. And, when I remember my dad, I remember him saying some outrageous comments. He wasn't perfect. He, as many men of his generation, they could be like, had some not so nice sides to them. But, but he loved us. He loved every one of us. No matter any differences we had, he absolutely adored my mum.
Yeah.
And we know that and we remember that. And, one of the things I remember is his arms, his forearms. There's a picture of him being held by my grandfather when when Dad was a baby, and it looked exactly like my grandfather. And my grandfather had the same very strong forearms, and it's like he gave the best hugs. And I actually think my nephew gives the best hugs, and I think he got that from his grandfather. And but if you haven't been able to be there and speaking to people, just to know that you love them and you want it to be. And please don't spend years beating yourself up over it. No
true statement ever said, Chrissy. I mean, honestly, friends, like, as important as the stories are to share, the takeaway from what Chrissy's talking about, and I'm interrupting Chrissy for like a personal service announcement, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, feel sorry for me. That's not what I'm saying. I am a walking, living example of how badly you can really F yourself up if you go down the rabbit hole of the woulda, shoulda, couldas, and it nearly destroyed me and took my life from me. So it's really important if you are able to get yourself out of that mindset. to do so. And if you can't, you have,
Because
you have your support system, medical doctor, therapist, your soul
can
tribe,
be,
family, whatever.
yes, as Kelly say, it can also be a dangerous mindset because you
Yeah.
just don't want to try because you feel like you failed somebody and you
100%.
just
Right.
want to try. And it's like, wow, no, you can't be there. And just know that there's understanding there,
Yeah.
you know. Um, Forgive yourself if for whatever reason you couldn't be there, you know. It's
Absolutely. That
okay.
is so well put and so well said, and said with such feeling. I thank you, Chrissy.
Mm.
This, when I popped on here tonight to talk about signs and messages, I didn't plan for it to go in this direction, but I think that it happened for a reason. So I'm going to accept it and I'm going to embrace it. I want to take a moment because I need to finish up, but I want to take a moment and just say thank you for everyone in the chat for sharing, this heartfelt, difficult, emotional, or happy, or sad, or angry, or a combination of all of different parts of things. It is such an amazing experience every time I sit here and I watch that happen in the chat. It just, honestly, it's truly amazing, and the healing and the support and the love, it's phenomenal. So please don't ever stop doing that. Literally, you can change someone's life by the power of the chat. And so I thank you. And for you guys for popping on here with me and sharing your most personal messages and stories. And I'm like touched by each and every one of you. I know that now all of us have lived a similar experience, and we are living proof that you are going to be okay, that you are loved, that you're not alone, and that there is always hope as long as you believe, right? And what do we need to believe in? We need to believe in ourselves. We need to believe in spirit. We need to believe in that connection. We need to believe in each other. I just feel like we all need to have like a big kumbaya kind of hug. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This
you're
feels
hugging.
so
Yeah, I was
close.
gonna say we all need a group hug right now.
Okay,
To hug
so
ourselves.
in I'm gonna try and get us back to normal. I don't know if I can do that or not, but let's see. In my chat, we developed a code word a couple of weeks ago, and the code word is hugs. And so when someone is sharing something in the chat, or in any chat for that matter, where they're feeling some sort of way, they will put hugs in capital letters, and then I say code word, and watch what happens. Everybody, code word for the group, and then the hugs just go up the screen, and it just is sort of sending a message to everyone that you're embraced, you're loved, um, and I think that, I mean, who can't use a hug, right?
Oh yeah, hugs are the best thing.
I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for popping on and sharing this space with me. Before I let anyone go, Jackie, Vivian, Sharon Sipe, people that were putting all the links to the different channels in, thank you so much for
Thank
doing
you.
that. Thank you for keeping us
Thank you.
safe. Chrissy Footprint Thoreau, Ron Unconditional Love, Sherry H Voices from the Swamp, Scott Scorpio Sun Thoreau. You guys are awesome, and I love each and every one of you. Thank you for being my friends, and thank you for hanging out with me on our impromptu gathering, for lack of a better word to say. And Brad, thank you for being here, my friend. That is my good friend Brad. He's
Oh, and a bubble!
Sorry, he wanted to say
oh, hi
bye
Kitty,
bye.
hi Sunny,
Yeah.
so cute.
Yeah, if I
Um,
was inside, mine was already taking over the camera.
it's all good. It's all good. So, real quick, Chrissy, what's coming up for you, love? Where can people find you if they need to find you? What are you
You
doing
can
next?
email me at footprinttarot@gmail.com. I will be doing a quick live tonight, which is Thursday morning, and I will be hopping on after the 8th hearing, which starts, I think, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, my time. So I'll be watching it here, and then I'll hop on and do a quick and do a review after that. So if anyone wants to join me, we'll wait and see. But I'm planning to hop on after that. Depends on how long it goes, too.
Awesome. It's going to be a good one, friends. It's going to be a good one.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Ron? You're sorry, Chrissy. I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying?
Well,
I finished it.
I have Saturday. Okay, I have Saturday coming up on the 23rd with the two sisters, Melinda, real Melinda, what's her name? Yeah, Frosty Thoreau. I got it. Brain farts right now. And Michelle.
Excellent. And that's at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, right?
Eastern.
Yep. 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
And okay, that's the right 23rd. And I think I have next things I have. I think it's 1st of August with Jean, Sun Psychic Medium. I have a live with her. I was invited on her channel.
Awesome.
And I think I have a live with you on the 3rd.
Yep. Yep, you're coming on with me, and Ron and I are going to talk about forgiveness. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ron. Sherry H, what have you got coming up, love? Anything you want to share with people?
Well, Friday night I'm doing Pictionary. Sun Psychic Jean and Sheila Celtic Thoreau are my two teammates for our team. I'm not sure who we're going to be playing against. And then I've got something else coming up next week. I can't remember now what it is. And I'm in the beginning stages of planning my 1-year channel anniversary, the end of August. So y'all will all be getting like invitations because I think I'm going to do like a panel thing. And then people can just hop on and off and we'll just make a night of it.
Hollywood Squares.
So, yeah.
Hollywood Squares.
Hollywood Squares.
There we go. We're going to do Hollywood Squares.
Blankety blanks. Blankety blanks.
Blankety blanks, that's right.
That's fun.
That's great. What about you, Scott? What's coming up for you, love? Anything you want to share with the people?
Yeah, I feel like Sherry, we're just in sync tonight, like just word for word. Yeah, I do have a live coming up on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Manasa on her channel, and right after that, I am having a channel anniversary as well. Mine was last month, but I never really had the proper thing, so I want a lot of people on. So if you guys want to come on, more than welcome. We're going to do like an open mic. Sort of the same thing Sherry just said. What's that?
I said, send me the link.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have it in chat there. And I've got our lounge, the Scorpio Sun Tarot Lounge, where everyone's free to join, free to post your lives. And if you're not in there, feel free to do that. But I know a lot of people don't have Facebook, but we just got over 500 members in there. So it's a celebration for that too. So that's coming up Saturday. And then the 26th, Tuesday, I'm with Deb H, Purple Elephant at 11 o'clock.
Awesome.
Eastern. Yes.
So if you're still writing or if you've not run out of ink yet, that was a joke. I was supposed to have Pure Visionary Psychic Medium on tonight. Of course, we will reschedule that. Tomorrow night, I'm here with Cartomancy Mesquite and Ivana Intuitive doing a Who's in the News. So bring your political questions and be gentle with me. I'm kidding. And on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, I have Celtic Sheila coming to the channel, which I'm really excited about to meet her. And she's going to be talking to us about how she does her remote viewing. Monday, Circle of Friends Tarot, which is my collaborative channel with Allie from Heart and Soul Connected. We have Heather Indigo Crystals coming to do a mystery night. We're going to be doing the case of Marilyn Monroe's. And then, gosh,
everybody
knows
goes,
what else is happening. Who knows? I do
Oh, and I
have
almost forgot.
things coming up. I've got a date with Ron, as we mentioned. I've got a date coming up where I'll be going out into the back, the fire pit, with myself and Allie. She'll be my guest. And I got a bunch of things happening, so stay tuned. I don't know what else to say other
Yeah,
than
I
stay
almost
tuned.
forgot. I've got my last shamanic journey class with Danny Shea on Saturday. I've done that class with him, so that's been
Nice.
wow, eye opening.
I bet. All right, friends. There's still 17 people in here, which is amazing that you all want to hang out with us. So we thank you very much for being here. Don't you guys on the screen go away. I will see you guys when we see each other next. Make sure that you show my friends some love. Subscribe to the channels if you're not already a
Bye, everybody.
subscriber. Make sure that you hit the thumbs up for the Kelster, because we got to get my numbers at least up to 300. Oh, and by the way, FYI, my birthday is coming up. August
Yes, it's on the 11th.
birthday, so there'll be some sort of a thing
August 11th?
happening.
A Leo.
August 11th. Of course, I'm a Leo. Hold
Well,
on.
mine,
Hold on.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a
Mine-
Leo. You
Yeah,
can't
you
tell. No.
That's a date I can't forget.
Right? Anyways, thank you everyone for being here. We love you all, and we wish you a good night and many, many blessings. And thank you again for sharing all of your personal stories with us. It's been an interesting evening, unexpected, and really, really joyful. So thank you, everybody. Mwah! Bye for now.
Much love.